calls to order. You can substitute with
Call the March 20th, 2017 Utility Advisory Board Committee to order and have the roll call.
Swanson. Here. Richter.
Here.
Odine.
Here.
Hanson. Here. Peterson. Toom.
Here.
Macheski.
Take over, Grant.
Look for a motion to approve the minutes for January 16th, 2017.
So moved.
You have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion regarding the motion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Is there anyone in the public that wishes to address the group? Okay, then we'll move to the consent agenda, which acknowledges the minutes of the West Central Wisconsin Biosolids Facility and the Powerful Choices Committee.
I move approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion and a second for approval of the consent agenda. Is there any further discussion regarding that? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Resolution number 2, recommended bid for the 2017 sanitary sewer lining project. Is somebody going to address that?
Yes, Grant. Tamara Jaworski is here, our engineering technician, and she'll be giving a short presentation on our sewer lining bid and maybe some other interesting tidbits on sewer lining. So, Tamara, thanks for coming tonight.
Thank you. As Kevin said, my name is Tamara Jaworski. I'm the engineer tech for the city. Most of the work I do is utility-related, water, sanitary, and electric. Tonight I'm here just to explain the 2017 sanitary sewer lining project. Some of you have seen some of this in the past because you've been here and cured in place lining. The process is essentially the same, just different companies doing the same process. So with that, I'm going to show you a real quick sewer video that kind of explains the process better than I can.
InSituForm's flagship cured-in-place pipe technology, or CIPP, is a pipe within a pipe, installed without digging. Resin-saturated, coated felt tubing is inverted or pulled into the existing pipe. Hot water or steam is then circulated throughout the tubing, curing the resin and forming a tight-fitting, jointless, corrosion-resistant pipe within a pipe. Service laterals are then restored using a robotically controlled cutting device. Finally, the rehabilitated pipe is fully inspected by closed-circuit TV. InSituForm's trenchless technology is the world's most trusted pipe rehabilitation solution.
This slide here kind of just reiterates what the video showed, is that sleeve is put into the pipe, it is cured with steam, it is pressurized against that pipe, and you end up with a final product, even though the initial material going in is soft, sock-like. It does come out as a solid PVC-type cured material, such as this. This is just a slide that shows on the left-hand side a pipe before it is cured. You can see. Let's see. I think I got a. You can see the. Maybe you can't. There you go. You can see the cracks there. And then the pipe on the opposite side here is after it's been cured. These are not the same pipe. I just am showing examples of pre and post lining and the difference it can make.
Tamara, that crack that we saw right there on that slide, would that be considered a severe crack?
Yeah, not necessarily imminent in that it had to be done right now. It would hold up for a while, but that would rate at least, I'm sure, a 4 or a 5, something we would want to do soon. This slide is in your packets. It just kind of shows the general area that we have chosen to do this year. There's a few small pipe segments down by City Hall, and then there's also a section of pipe there on Falls. That was never televised. That is one that was chosen because they had a lot of maintenance issues on that line. Then there's several that we've decided to do down in College View area. Last year we did several there that were rated as a number 5, and in our rating system, a number 1 is good, a number 5 is bad. And we did the 5s in that area last year. The pinks you see on this slide here are those with a 4 rating. This is just a closer up shot, a more, bad English, more close shot of the areas downtown by City Hall and the section on Falls. And that's also the pipe segments there in College View. When you look at the summary of the footages, the bid went out as 2,420 feet. Though you notice that I put in red 10 feet of pipe, 300 foot of pipe that was 10 inch. We don't have any 10 inch pipe this year that we're going to line. But what happened last year, we had what we thought were all 8 inch and then a few 18 inch pipes. And when the lining company came in, we found out that a couple of our pipes that we thought were 8 inch were actually 10. Well, then you don't have a bid price. And so you're at the mercy of whatever company had gotten the bid. Now, obviously, if they're going to work with you in the future, they hopefully aren't going to gouge you. But in order to just to prevent that, we put in a roughly about a block's worth of 10-inch pipe just to cover our bases. If something comes up that really is an 8 but is a 10, we'll have a bid price on it. So the true amount that we're lining or believed to be lining this year is 2,120 feet, but we've got that extra 300 as a buffer in case. We did get 8 bids this year, and the top bidder was Visi Sewer, or the lowest bidder. Last year it was in situ form, so they came in second this year, as you can see, so they were close. The engineer's estimate there of 67,000, that was about mid-range, which is what we'd like to see when we do our estimates. We have in the past, last year was in situ form, was the company that got the bid, but we have in the past had Visi Sewer. In 2013, they had gotten the bid and did some lining, and we were happy with their product, or the result. Part of what I thought you might wonder is that we have in the budget $175,000 for this year's sewer lining, just this year, and $175,000 for next year. Well, why then are we only lining $52,000? We looked at, and we as I, Greg and Ron, other people within the utility, looked at the pipes that we had televised. And this next slide, I'm going to kind of flip back and forth between these. This next slide shows, and it's kind of small, but the gray on there are the pipes that we do not have any television reports on. So to make to go through and line everything this year that's a 4, when some of those unidentified pipes could be 5 or imminently needing repair, didn't seem the smart decision. At the end of 2016, the utility purchased a vac truck and televising equipment. And I think maybe Kevin can address this more, but I think we'd hoped we'd get that a little sooner and get it on board sooner and have some TVing done already, but it came late in the year. So we didn't get any new lines to TV and check, but we're hoping to go, really crazy with that here this spring and summer. Therefore, if in televising these lines, we come up with any that are in imminent need of repair, they will be change orders on this year's project. Any that are just 5s but can wait, that will all be money that'll be rolled into next year's budget, and it'll probably be quite a large lining project next year. And if you look at this, I don't know how well that's going to show. This big red line, the red on here are 5s, that's bad. But the red, that big long red line is our Lamenti line, and currently that project is being looked at with the North Interceptor project that Reed Ronsky is heading up. And that will involve rehabbing those, possibly looking at whether they're large enough and need to be dug and upsized. So we are not lining those because we're looking at what else may need to be done with those. We did decide to do some of these 4s, like I said down here. I'm not very good with this pointer, I see. Down here, by doing the 4s in College View, that makes the College View area have 3 or higher. So we're kind of comfortable with College View will be done. We didn't want to just put out a bid for 10,000 either. We wanted to be, somewhat proactive here. So the reason for not doing more is we wanted to use the money wisely. We wanted to have a buffer in case anything comes up really bad as we televise here before Visi Sewer comes in, and then have money to roll over for next year if these that we televise are in bad shape. This slide is just a brief summary of some of our sanitary statistics as of 2017. And if you look at the right-hand side there, they're the same, the right and the left. I just like to look at pipe segments, meaning manhole to manhole, rather than footage. If you look at that, you can see that the largest majority of our pipes are PVC right now, which is 823 segments. You'll notice there's only one HDPE pipe, and that's 2,000 some feet. Well, that's cutting underneath the Kinney River. That was a big long bore. That's why it's one long stretch. The rest are, a large percentage of the rest are the clay pipes. There's 501 pipe segments there, and those are going to be the older pipes in town, the clay and the cast. So if you look at the bottom piece there that I did, if I took and looked at everything we had lined through the whole city, we've lined 6.9%. But there's no reason to line good PVC pipe. So the 15% that I show you below is my taking the amount we've lined in the older parts of town, looking at what we've lined that are clay and cast. That's the number that we need to continue to increase. And at this point, we've done 15.1% of those. The next slide just shows you what some of our current footages are. If you look at the 8-inch in red, that's our current this year. Last year, that was only 211,000 feet. You might ask, why is that? Well, although we have not officially accepted Spring Creek Estates South, those were 8-inch pipes that have just gone in last fall, and I added them to this list. So that's why that number is up. Then if you look down at the 10-inch, that's in red, 39,000. And we had last year 38,000. Well, if you remember my telling you that last year we thought they were 8-inch, they switched over to 10-inch because there were 3 segments that we just didn't know were the same size. So that's the differences there. So for the most part, those are the only 2 areas that we've increased size in were the 8-inch down in Spring Creek Estates South.
I just want to say that slide right there exemplifies why we love your attention to detail.
Oh, catching whatever. Any other questions with that? I know some of this has been kind of a review for some of you who have been here before.
Just a curiosity question. How, like with PVC and the liner, you said they're similar. How long are these going to last? I mean,
it is, the research that we've read says that most cured in place pipe is supposed to last for about 50 years.
okay.
I've, of course, only been here 10, so I can't attest to the truth of that. But as you see from the piece that went around, it's a pretty sturdy piece of PVC-type material. I will say that I've learned this year we brought in a trainer to give us some training on this process. And I used to think that cured in place physically adhered to the clay pipe. It does not. The pressure pushes it out, but it doesn't stick to the clay pipe. So you can still have water infiltration running between the two pipes sometimes, things like that. So it's been kind of even a learning process for us as we've gone along. Anything else? Thank you.
I just want to say, first of all, thank you. That was very good. And I think we've just found it a pretty cost-effective way with fairly little disruption to increase the life expectancy of our pipes another 50 years. So we've embraced this technology, and I think we'll continue using it. And now having our vac truck with the televising equipment and cleaning equipment, we'll really be able to get in front of this and figure out which pipes need to go first. So
Thank you.
anyway, thanks, Tamara.
We have resolution number 2017-3 that deals with the supporting bid for the 2017 sanitary sewer lining project. Is there any further discussion before we vote on that?
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution number 2017-03.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you. Okay, the next is on the report of the utility dashboards, wastewater treatment plant, powerful choices.
And those were just handed out to you prior to the meeting. We've had some staffing changes in our accounting department, and they've been trying to play catch-up, but they just got these done late today, so we put those on your table for your perusement, I guess. Things look pretty stable. Yeah, very stable, very similar to last year. Water is a bit different, but all in all, pretty similar. No surprises. I know on electric outages, it says 1 on the back of that sheet. We did have an outage last night that affected 69 customers, kind of in our north substation. It did affect where our city garage is, kind of our older original business park. From about 2:15 a.m. to about 4 a.m., they were out of power. And we couldn't find the fault. We put the breaker back in and it held. All we could find was a bent animal, or squirrel guard or animal guard was bent. We don't know, it seemed like either an awfully big squirrel or maybe a bear or something that climbed a pole, but something had bent the squirrel guard down and we think got around it and caused it to trip. So no dead animals at the base of the pole, but that's the best we could find after researching last night and today, and the breakers held, so something caused the fault that was unknown, and we found this had bent animal guard, which indication that something was maybe up the pole. So that's what we know there.
Okay, we go to number 4, the substation plant project update.
Yeah, I put a sheet in your packet here with a couple simple renderings, just to keep you in the loop and up to speed on our power plant substation. We do plan on completing that this year. We finally just came into agreement with XL Energy. There's a black and white photo that shows what their building is going to look like and about where it's going to be sitting on the site, pretty close to our original structure. They originally had planned on putting that much closer to the road, so where they want to put it is really fine with us. So we'll have a switchgear building that goes kind of in front of that, so it'll be blocked from any view. And then on the very last sheet in that section, I have kind of a mock-up of what I'm thinking about as far as fencing. Nice brick fencing with wrought iron railings, so something that's going to be aesthetically pleasing from the road. Somewhat will match the existing structure, the old power plant structure as well. So, and again, our switchgear came in late last week. We got that off the semi, and that's sitting in storage until we get our switchgear building built out there, hopefully later this spring or early summer. So So I just wanted to get you up to speed on the substation project, that is continuing to move forward. A lot of coordination with Xcel Energy, and our transformer is there, it's on site and set. Switchgear is in our possession now, we just have to build the building to put it into, so. That's an update on the substation. Is there any questions on that?
Is that building, has that been designed or?
Our building?
Yeah.
Not totally designed yet. We have a conceptual idea what we want there. That building will kind of be used as part of the fencing. It'll look like the fence. So the exterior of that wall will be brick wall. It'll match the fence. Probably put some full windows on the outside. We've even talked maybe about a false dormer in the roof to make it look a little more residential like the neighborhoods maybe. So I'm working with community development as well on just making sure that that is an attractive looking building and doesn't stand out as some high use industrial type look. I'm trying to soften the look, which will be possible with some architectural things.
Number 5, the WPPI Energy Wholesale Seasonal Rate, which is number 5 in our packet.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on this briefly. Mike, Noreen, and Weston Arndt are out talking to our largest energy users, or about our top 100 customers. And WPPI made a change late last year that it will affect 2017, the PCAC, the price cost adjustments every month, and it's a revenue neutral situation for our customers throughout the year. But during the summer months, when electricity is most expensive, customers are going to be paying the most for electricity through the power cost adjustment charge in July and August. In the past, WPPI Energy had charged customers the same all year long. And what was happening was, when energy was most expensive and energy was used the most, we were collecting the least. So now we'll be collecting revenues in the same frequency as what energy costs at that time. That being said, through all the shoulder months and the winter months, most customers will be paying less for electricity than they had in the past. It's the July and August when it's going to bump up a little bit. So this is doing something else that WPPI, our wholesale provider, is really trying to do. And that is send a price signal in the summertime that this is when the energy is most expensive, and if you're able to conserve during that time, you're probably going to be saving money throughout the year, but it'll lower our overall peak demand as well. So price signals now are going to match the actual price of power generated at that time. So that's what's happening there. It's kind of confusing. And this will also potentially affect residential customers as well, but very minuscule. And I did make a chart here for that as well. Again, if you're a residential customer, most months you're going to be about $3, $4 less than a typical bill for that month. During July and August, it might be $8 or $9 more. But if you find a way to cut your air conditioning back, you're probably going to really save a lot. Again, but these are revenue neutral throughout the year. So in a year's time, you shouldn't be paying any more than you had. So I'm going to pass this around as well. This is the residential.
Who are the major users in the city?
Well, our top 100, NCCM, the university is number 1. They consume 10% of our load. So, yeah, so that's a big user. I guess for one thing, for the university, I know school is not in session in July and August, so that may benefit them a little bit. Some of their usage probably won't be as high as it would be in, say, September. So this rate, I think our Weston Arndt and Mike already met with the university and went over this, and it was pretty close to what you had been paying.
Now, the purpose of this is essentially cash flow for WPPI?
Yes, that's exactly right, because they had high energy bills in the summer, but we're only collecting about 90% of what energy cost at that time. So that's, yes. So a cynical person could say this is for WPPI's cash flow model.
Well, it might have the side benefit of encouraging some conservation as well.
But that's really, in the end, that's what, they're trying to send a price signal to folks to say, hey, when we have to buy this in July and August, it is most expensive, so we need you to be aware of that. So you're also thinking about conserving during those same times. Before the price signals were inverse, we were paying the least and actually it cost the most.
So you can indulge in your
In-
electric space heater in
Right,
January a little more than you used to.
Anyway, I just wanted to make you aware of that in case somebody on the street asks you about it. And again, for our top 100 customers, if you look in the corporate parks grant, it's most of those customers. Whether it's original corporate park, Whitetail, or Sterling Ponds, or mainly where there are. The hospital is another a big customer. But we're meeting with each of those folks individually and going over this with them. And many of those customers, about 30 of those top 100, also have the AMI meters, and they're getting daily information about their energy usage, so that'll help them understand this as well. So anyway, we're taking steps to educate folks about this. And I just wanted to make you aware.
So this went into place the beginning of the year?
Yes, it did, yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. So, and we're educating now before July, and people probably don't even notice that their bills are probably, if you compare them to last year, have gone down 1% or 2%, because the power cost adjustment charge is less now in the shoulder months than it will be in the summertime. That's all I had on that grant.
Okay. And we have the monthly report in our packet. Yeah, I thought that was kind of neat to have all of the pictures of all the guys that are employees.
Yeah, that was Christie's doing on that, and I really like that as well. I know a lot of times we say names like we think we know everybody knows who they are, so this can help you maybe with a little bit of identification, so if you do see them, you might go, oh, I think I've seen him in the monthly report.
Yep.
So anyway, just another step in trying to put faces with names. Hey, thanks for noticing that.
Is there anything in the monthly utility report that should be brought to our special attention?
No, I think, and I'm looking at March this year compared to March last year. I felt like March of last year, we were scrambling a little bit more with a bunch of new large commercial businesses coming online, and some like line extensions that we were scrambling a little bit more last March. This March, it seemed like we're kind of getting back into normal mode a little bit more. So, and getting a lot of the things done that we needed to get done, a lot of the planning and maintenance and those type of things. I know Wayne Cyberling told me, I think today we started undergrounding some of the residential services that were placed above ground over the winter time. So frost is out of the ground, they're able to dig those in. So he had a list of those. Anyway, everybody's doing well, everybody's staying healthy and working safely and trying to deliver the highest possible service levels we can.
You have a thing in here about the number of energy blocks. How much a month pay extra is it for an energy block?
It's $3 a month if you want to buy an energy block. So $3 a month, and then that money that you contribute towards an energy block will go towards renewable energy projects, wind, solar, and biomass. So, and again, we're coming close to having 10% of our customers voluntarily contribute to buying an energy block. So that's an outstanding thing and a great reflection on our community, their commitment to renewable energy. I think that's pretty outstanding. Well, again, we're about number 4 in the country and number 1 in the state of Wisconsin. So,
Good.
for communities. That's all I have on that.
Okay.
And no other announcements.
Anything else needs to come before the group? Not, we'll look for a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
We're adjourned.
Thank you, everybody.